Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about some of the most expensive and rare coins in US history. These coins might look simple at first glance, but some of them are worth big money because of their history, design, and even some errors. Let's take a closer look at these valuable pieces of history and find out which ones could make you a fortune. First up, let's talk about the 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter, a coin that many collectors are always on the lookout for. Now, this coin isn't just your typical quarter. It's part of a limited series, and because of that, it holds a serious value in the coin market. In fact, a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter in top condition has been sold for as much as $4,000 at auctions, though the typical price is usually around $3,500. This is far more than you'd expect for a coin that you might find in your pocket change. But why is it so valuable? Well, the answer lies in its history, rarity, and some minting errors that make it a real gem for collectors. Stick with me to find out all the details about this unique coin and what makes it so highly sought after. The Standing Liberty Quarter was first introduced in 1916, and it's one of the most beautiful coins ever minted by the US. The design shows Lady Liberty standing proudly, holding a shield in one hand and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing protection and peace. However, by 1930, the coin was replaced by the Washington Quarter, which is still in circulation today. That means the 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter is one of the last coins with this iconic design, making it even more valuable. The 1928 is particularly rare because fewer of these coins were made compared to other years. The US Mint struck a smaller number of these coins, so finding one today is not easy. When fewer coins are produced, their value goes up, especially as time passes and those coins become even more difficult to find. And because many of these coins are now over 90 years old, many have been worn down or damaged over the years, which means those that are still in good condition are very rare. But it's not just the age and limited mintage that makes the 1928 so valuable, it's also the minting errors. Some of these coins were struck with incomplete designs, meaning certain details, like Lady Liberty's hand or the shield, are not as clear as they should be. These mistakes, called error coins, are highly prized among collectors because they are one of a kind. A coin with an error is often more valuable than one that was minted perfectly. For example, an error coin could add thousands of dollars to its value, so it's always a good idea to check for these small mistakes if you happen to come across one. The value of a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter can vary a lot depending on its condition. A coin that is in perfect condition, or what collectors call mint state, or uncirculated, is worth much more than one that is worn or damaged. In fact, a 1928 in perfect or near perfect condition could easily be worth around $3,500 or even more. The highest price ever paid for a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter was $4,000, so if you've got one of these in great shape, you could be holding on to a pretty valuable piece of American history. On the other hand, if the coin is more worn out, you might not get as much for it, but it could still be worth hundreds of dollars. For example, a 1928 in good or very good condition might sell for $300 to $600. So even if the coin isn't in perfect shape, it can still be worth a lot more than a regular quarter. One thing that makes this coin especially special is its historical significance. In 1928, the United States was at a crossroads. The country was in the middle of a period known as the Roaring Twenties, which was a time of great prosperity. But just a year after the 1928 coin was minted, the stock market crash of 1929 would lead to the start of the Great Depression. So, when you hold a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter, you're holding a piece of history from a time when the country was on the brink of great change. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter? The answer is simple: check for the small S mint mark on the coin. The S stands for the San Francisco Mint, where this particular coin was struck. If you look closely at the back of the coin, just below the eagle, you should see the letter S if it's a 1928 S. If you find one with that mark, you know you have a coin that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. It's important to note that the grade of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded based on how much wear they've experienced. A coin in mint state or uncirculated condition will have no visible wear, while a coin in good or very good condition will have some visible scratches or smoothness. The better the grade, the more money it's worth. For example, a 1928 S in perfect condition can be worth around $3,500, but a coin in lower condition might only be worth $300 or so. Another thing collectors look for is any errors in the coin's design. As I mentioned before, some 1928 S coins have minting errors, such as unclear or incomplete details. If you find a 1928 S with a visible error, it could be worth even more. These rare coins with errors can sometimes fetch prices of $5,000 or more at auction. That's because they are so unique and hard to find. A coin with a mistake is like a collector's dream, and error coins are highly sought after by those who love the thrill of hunting for rare treasures. Many collectors search through old coin collections, change jars, and yard sales to find these valuable coins. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1928 S standing Liberty quarter, it could turn out to be a real jackpot. Even if the coin is in less than perfect condition, it could still be worth a few $100s, and if it's in great shape, you could make some serious cash. So, remember, the 1928 S standing Liberty quarter is one of those coins that has all the right ingredients for a high value. It's rare, historically significant, and, in some cases, has minting errors that make it even more valuable. If you ever find one, whether it's in a coin collection or tucked away in a drawer, make sure to check its condition and look for any errors. You might just be holding on to a piece of American history worth more than you think. Let's talk about the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar. You might think dollar coins are not that special, but this one is different. It's a rare find, and in some cases, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. Yeah, you heard that right, $10,000 for a single dollar coin. So, what makes the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar so valuable, and why do collectors care about it? Let's break it down. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was minted in 1979 as part of an effort to create a smaller, more practical dollar coin. The goal was to replace the Eisenhower dollar, which was too big and bulky. The design of the Susan B. Anthony dollar shows the activist herself, Susan B. Anthony, who fought for women's rights and was instrumental in securing the right to vote for women. It was the first time a woman's image appeared on a U.S. coin in over 50 years. But here's the catch, the Susan B. Anthony dollar wasn't exactly popular when it was first released. It was often confused with the quarter because they were the same size. It also didn't get much attention because people were used to paper dollars, and the coin just didn't catch on. As a result, the coin wasn't widely circulated, and fewer of them were actually used. So, when it comes to the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, that means fewer were made and that makes it rarer. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some of these coins from 1979 D were struck with minting errors. The U.S. Mint made a big mistake that year. Some of the coins were struck with the wrong date and mint mark. The coin should have had the mint mark D for Denver, but some were actually struck with the P mint mark, which meant they were made in Philadelphia. That mistake has turned these error coins into valuable treasures. So, how do you know if you've got one of these rare coins? First, check for the mint mark. On the back of the coin, you'll find a D under the eagle. If it's a 1979 D and looks like a normal coin, then it's not what you're looking for. But if you find a 1979 D that has the wrong mint mark or date error, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars. A 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar with the error can sell for as much as $10,000 or even more. That's the highest recorded sale price for one of these coins, but even if it's not in perfect condition, it can still be worth a lot. For example, you might find a 1979 D error coin worth anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on how well it's been preserved. Coins that have been used and are a bit worn will usually sell for less, but they're still worth far more than the dollar they originally represented. The value of these coins depends on a few things, but the most important factors are the minting error and the condition of the coin. If you come across one of these coins in great condition, meaning it has no visible wear or scratches, you could be looking at a top dollar sale. If it's in rougher condition, it'll be worth less, but still a lot more than a normal dollar coin. So, it's important to keep an eye on the details. Now, let's talk about grading. When it comes to coins, grading is everything. Grading means how well the coin has been preserved over time. Coins that are in perfect condition are considered mint state or uncirculated. If the coin has been used and shows signs of wear, it might be graded as good or very good. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For example, a 1979 D-era coin in mint state condition could easily be worth $10,000. However, a lower grade coin might only be worth a few $100s. That's why having a coin professionally graded can help you understand how much it's worth. Professionals use a scale from 1 to 70, and the higher the grade, the higher the value. If you want to find one of these rare coins, you should know that they're still out there. Many collectors have searched through rolls of coins, old collections, or even loose change to find these error coins. The good news is that they're not completely impossible to find, but you have to be careful when checking for the minting errors. You don't want to miss a 1979 D with a mistake on it. So, if you come across a 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar, here's what you should do: look for the D mint mark to confirm it's the Denver version of the coin. Check for the error, look for any irregularities in the minting or date. Examine the condition of the coin. The better the condition, the more valuable it is. If you think it might be worth something, consider getting it professionally graded. This will tell you exactly what it's worth. While the 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar didn't catch on when it was first released, today, it's a coin that many collectors want to get their hands on. The rarity, historical significance, and minting errors make it a great find, especially if you're looking to make some money on a rare coin. As time goes on, the value of these coins will likely continue to rise, especially as more collectors realize how rare and valuable they really are. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced coin collector, it's always good to keep an eye out for error coins, especially the 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar. If you find one, it could be your ticket to a big payday. Keep looking, and who knows, you might just discover a hidden treasure in your spare change. Now, let's talk about the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar, a coin that's not as widely known but is definitely one that can be worth a lot of money. This coin isn't just rare because of its age, it has serious value due to its unique history and the minting mistakes that were made during its production. In fact, a 2009 P Sacagawea dollar can be worth up to $1,500 in certain conditions. Let's dive into why this coin is so valuable and why collectors are eager to get their hands on it. The Sacagawea dollar has been in circulation since 2000, and it's part of the United States' effort to make a more recognizable and practical dollar coin. The design on the coin is based on the image of Sacagawea, the Native American woman who helped guide Lewis and Clark during their expedition across the western United States in the early 1800s. Sacagawea is shown on the front of the coin holding her infant son, Jean-Baptiste Charbonneau, while the reverse side features an eagle in flight. This coin was designed to honor her contributions to American history and the role of women in exploration. However, in 2009, the U.S. Mint made a special design change to the Sacagawea dollar. To mark the 200th anniversary of Lewis and Clark's journey, the Mint released a special set of Sacagawea dollar coins with different reverse designs. These new designs represented various moments from the Lewis and Clark expedition, including an image of the Missouri River and Sacagawea's journey. This brings us to the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where the coin was produced. Now, while the coin itself was part of a special release, the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar became especially valuable for two main reasons: its rarity and a minting error that occurred during its production. In 2009, the U.S. Mint produced a limited number of Sacagawea dollars, and because these coins were part of a special series, many collectors didn't initially recognize their value. However, the 2009 P Sacagawea dollar is not something you'll see in your pocket change very often. The mint produced fewer of these coins compared to other years, which is why they're now considered rare. Fewer coins means higher demand among collectors, which drives the price up. But that's not all. The 2009 Sacagawea dollar also has some important errors that make it worth more. The most notable error is the misalignment of the coin's design. Some coins were struck with the reverse design, the eagle, upside down or slightly off-center. These error coins are incredibly rare, and because of that, they can sell for thousands of dollars. The price can vary depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, but a 2009 Sacagawea dollar with a noticeable minting mistake has been known to sell for around $1,500 in top condition. If you're lucky enough to find a 2009 Sacagawea dollar with a minting error, you're holding on to something truly unique. Some of these coins have sold for prices as high as $3,000 at auctions. The exact price depends on the error, the condition of the coin, and how rare the particular mistake is. Coins with multiple errors or those that are in near-perfect condition will naturally fetch higher prices. It's important to remember that not every 2009 Sacagawea dollar will be worth a small fortune. Like with any coin, the condition plays a huge role in how much it's worth. Coins in perfect or near-perfect condition, known as MS-65 or MS-70, mint state, will have the highest value. On the other hand, coins that have been used and are worn down won't be worth as much, but they still could have value beyond their face value. So, how can you spot a 2009 Sacagawea dollar and figure out if it might be worth something? First, check the mint mark. You should see a P under the eagle on the back of the coin if it was minted in Philadelphia. Then, take a close look at the design. If the coin has any errors, such as a misaligned design, upside-down reverse, or the date being struck too weakly, it could be a valuable error coin. Even if you don't find any mistakes, just the rarity of the coin makes it worth more than a regular dollar coin. If you find a 2009 Sacagawea dollar, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a trusted grading service. This will help you know exactly what you have and how much it's worth. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70, and a higher grade means the coin is in better condition. The higher the grade, the more money it will bring in if you decide to sell it. Some of the highest recorded sales for the 2009 Sacagawea dollar with minting errors have gone for prices up to $3,000 at auction. If the coin is in mint condition and has a strong error, it could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Even coins without errors can still fetch several $100s, depending on the market and demand among collectors. Remember, while these coins are rare, they're not completely impossible to find. Some collectors have been lucky enough to find 2009 Sacagawea dollars in circulation, often at local coin shops, estate sales, or even in rolls of coins from the bank. If you have a collection of coins, or you happen to find a 2009 Sacagawea dollar lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. Even if there's no error, the coin's rarity alone could make it worth more than the face value. The 2009 Sacagawea dollar is a great example of how a coin, even if it seems simple or unimportant at first, can become incredibly valuable over time due to rarity, history, and minting errors. It's a great coin to keep an eye out for, especially if you're looking to add something special to your collection. To sum up, the 2009 Sacagawea dollar is valuable not only because of its historical significance but also because of the limited mintage and the error coins that came from it. If you find one, make sure to check for the mint mark and design errors. It might just be worth far more than you think. That's it for today's video. If you're a coin collector, or even just someone who enjoys history, keep an eye out for these ultra-rare coins. Who knows, you might have one hidden in your pocket right now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more cool coin facts. Until next time, happy hunting.